Welcome to another of our track test videos here at Toronto Motorsports Park. We've got an NB Miata, and it's had a small increase in displacement, as you'll see in just a second. So this is our buddy Ray's 2001 NB Miata, as you can see, and it's got the required fender flares and big rubber and tires. It's got 245 Hagkook RS4s on 15x10 949 racing wheels. It's got stop tech brakes up front, AST coilovers, and I guess the big thing is what's under the hood. Obviously the special something with this car is its engine. It's got an LS3, which is not an uncommon engine swap for a Miata, but I've never tried an LS swap Miata, so I'm really stoked to give this a try and see how 480 horsepower feels in a 2,500 pound car. Maybe it's 2,600 pounds with this engine in it. So this is an LS3 with the hot cam, rated from at the factory at 480. Ray says it made 413 at the wheel, so that is a whole bunch of horsepower with a 245 in a lightweight car. It should be a rocket ship in a straight line. I have no idea what the handling balance is going to be like, but ASTs are good dampers, and we've got nice cool conditions here. It should take a lap or two to get some heat in the tires, and then we'll see what the lap timer shows us. Inside, it's got most of its interior in here, although it's got a roll bar added in and a Sparkle racing seat and a nice little racing steering wheel in here, which should help me with leg room for heel and toe, because these cars are a tight fit. And as you can see from the shift lever, it's not your standard Miata stuff. This is connected to a T56 transmission. By the way, I should have mentioned that the engine is mounted with a V8 Roadster kit. It's got some retro gauge cover stuff in here too, and different vents. Anyway, enough talk, let's go for a rip. Okay, this is exciting. Like I said, I've never driven an LS Miata before. It's gonna be weird to be in a Miata with a T56 gearbox. It's such a heavy shifting gearbox. It seems sort of almost out of character for the car, but I'm sure in a lap or two I'll start to get a feel for it. It's got a relatively long throw to it, but the gears are well defined, and my god, even at like part throttle it feels so torquey. Holy cow. My god, the acceleration. Just trying to get a feel for heel and toe there, and it's a little bit awkward. Cold today. It's only about maybe 10 or 11 degrees Celsius, so it's going to take a little while to get some heat in the tires and for me to get a feel for this car. Last thing I want to do is take Ray's newly acquired Miata and stuff it into the grass here, so you got to treat other people's car with respect. I do appreciate the opportunity that guys like Ray are giving me to try their cool cars out, so thank you to all of our viewers who are offering up their cars for test drives like this one. We really do appreciate it. And file it under ironic, I caught a Miata. In his defense, he's got his hazards on. He's on a cool down lap. Man, this thing accelerates like a rocket ship. The straight line speed is not going to be a problem in this car. Holy cow. Short gearing too, my goodness. Just gonna, oh, there she's sliding already. It's got a tiny little steering wheel in it, but it's got a quick steering rack, so I don't know if this kit retains the Mazda steering. It sure feels like it does. It's got so much torque too, I don't even know if I need to downshift. I could probably do this whole track in third gear. Well, not the straights in third gear, but I could probably do the rest in third gear. Man, this thing is quick. Really struggling with heel and toe in it. Not ideal, because you don't want to be locking the rear end up in this car on a downshift. Starting to feel like I'm getting temperature in the tires. But boy, it still will oversteer on you in a hurry. What a beast this thing is. Holy cow. throttle because it's so torquey. You have to be very gentle with the throttle applications because it will want to spin on you otherwise. Just gotta squeeze the throttle. Squeeze it on there. Got some understeer there. As you would expect with that much weight over the front axle with this LS3, it will push on corner entry, but then you can obviously dial it out with the throttle. God, it's fast. It feels like it's just very traction limited because with this much power, it wants more tire, but you can't fit much more tire on this thing. It's interesting, you know, the stop techs require a lot of pedal effort. I'm not convinced it's a very aggressive brake pad. I wish it had more initial bite, because the car this fast, you want to feel like the brakes are doing something right away. 118.8. What a machine. 118.8 on RS4s. Wow. I mean, do I go for one more lap here? 18.8 is already very, very fast. I feel like this thing's got a 17 in it. I'm still just barely using its performance potential. Oh, the brake's starting to fade a little there. Interesting. Or maybe I'm getting knocked back. Oh yeah, brake pedal's getting long. Okay, I'm not gonna risk another lap there then, guys. Let me tell you what though, this car has 17s in it, easy peasy on these RS4s. I mean, a 118.8, well, just barely getting a feel for the car, tells you the performance it's got. But the brake pedal is getting very, very soft, and that's scary, so don't want to go into turn one and have no brakes. Been there, done that. Having a look at our lap time leaderboard here, and we can see that it falls in between our FRS and the Badass 2000. That's pretty good company, and frankly, this is much faster than our FRS. It is an absolute rocket ship in a straight line. It's just the big thing holding it back, at least for me, were two things. The brakes, there wasn't a lot of brake feel to begin with, so I didn't have a lot of confidence in how they were working. And then the pedal started getting longer and longer. So I only did maybe 3 hot laps there. And the first hot lap, the brakes were working fine, but I was struggling with heel and toe downshifts. The brake pedal is a little low, the throttle is a little high, so I was really struggling to blip the throttle on downshifts. And because it's so fast, you're on the brakes longer and harder than you might be otherwise. And so it's putting a lot of heat into these brakes. And as we discovered popping the hood, the brake master cylinder and the lines off of it are right by those LS3 headers, and they're just getting hammered with heat. So we boiled the fluid, it overflowed, and that's just a function of a V8 and a Miata. So there's a fix there. I'm sure guys have figured this out before, and Ray, the owner, will figure it out too. We'll have to maybe reroute some lines, put a heat shield in there, but it's definitely fixable. And with that and an adjustment to pedal heights, this car goes 117s easy, maybe 116s on a street tire. I mean, I don't know too many cars that can go 116 on a street tire, so this is a very, very, very fast car and a hoot to drive, but it's very involving. As I was saying while I was out there, this is not a car for beginners. It's like, it's 100% up to you in there. There's no traction control, there's nothing to save you. It's a very short wheelbase with 1,000,000 pounds of torque, so you have to be really gradual on the throttle. And in the brake zones, even though you're on it really hard, because there isn't a lot of feel, it's really difficult to judge brake release. So I was having a tough time judging my corner entries, and then getting on the throttle coming out of the corners. It's this constant game of like balancing the oversteer while trying to feed the throttle in as much as I can. So a very involving car to drive. I love it. I think I could learn a lot by spending more time in this car. You develop as a driver driving this kind of thing, but it's not something you're just gonna jump in and go fast your first lap in. So Lots more potential in this car. I'd love to have Ray come back maybe next year when he gets the brakes sorted out and have another go in it, because this thing should go higher on our lap time leaderboard than where it is right now. Anyway, that's a wrap on this LS swapped NB Miata. What a car, what a treat it was to drive. Give us a thumbs up if you want to see more swapped cars here at TMP with us, and hit the subscribe button to check out any of our future track reviews. There's still lots more of those to come.